Time now 5:06. NASA officials are taking the lessons learned from Artemis 1 to tweak future missions to the moon. WAY 31's Alex Torres-Perez goes over how crews at the Marshall Space Flight Center and NASA as a whole are preparing for those future Artemis missions. Alex?
Well, there were a lot of lessons learned from all the data collected during the Artemis 1 mission, which actually launched now 4 months ago. And, I was lucky enough to be there, and the experience of it is unlike anything other. I can actually still feel the shaking of the engines roaring in my chest, my legs shaking, and the tears kind of stinging my eyes when I saw all of the hard work of the people in NASA and here at Marshall Space Flight Center just finally becoming a reality. And it's something that they hope to accomplish again in future Artemis missions. Now, here's what they're planning on doing. They're changing a few things. They're installing new hardware and systems, since this will be the first crewed Artemis mission, and since there will be astronauts inside that spacecraft, they want to make sure everything is exactly right, because these are lives on board of these missions. They are upgrading the mobile launch pad. They're getting a new hydrogen tank to fuel the rocket faster. The timing of the launch is going to be updated in order to give astronauts time to get into their spacesuits. They're also adding automation after some lessons learned during Artemis 1 missions, but overall they're using all of those lessons learned from previous missions to make sure that they keep these astronauts safe.
Knew that the vehicle would be safe and ready to fly. We had no idea it was going to perform as well as it did. And so it's a high bar that we've set for ourselves, especially since Artemis 2 is going to have humans on board. It's something that we take very, very seriously. We know the risk of flying that vehicle with people on board, but we are going to take those lessons that we learned from Artemis 1 and apply them to what we're going to fly on Artemis 2, make it even safer for the crew. We're in the process of making some minor changes to some of our booster configuration to be able to make it safer for that crew, and I know the other elements are doing the same.
And that first crewed mission, Artemis 2, is set to lift off in November of 2024. And then after that will be the first time, or I should say the time that, we once again step on the moon, the first person of color, first woman to step on the moon. That's expected to take a year after Artemis 2 mission. Now, they are still working on even further Artemis missions in the future towards further deep space exploration. And the teams over at Marshall Space Flight Center are already developing and working on a new SLS booster system for those missions. Reporting live in Huntsville, Alex Torres-Perez, WAY 31 News.